Hello, folks. This is Neil. I'm the guy with the EarthLifter tool, and basically, let's talk about not just tools, but the motion of tools. Actually, 1,000 years, more than that, we've used shovels and forks. I'm not even going to attempt to use a shovel here because shovels don't make sense in lots of areas when you have rocks. Rocks, you hit one spot with a rock with a shovel, and you bounce up and it doesn't go through. So let's just say, um, I think in general, for the application of digging, of lifting up dirt, a fork is kind of more adaptable to the soil, meaning most of the time your soil has rocks, okay? So a regular fork, the thing about a fork is not just the actual instrument itself. It's basically it's an extension of your arms, and this thing has fingers, and a shovel has a palm. So basically, it's an extension of your body. So basically, it's a one-to-one correspondence, and it's just extended, and it's just a larger area, and all the kind of stuff that we all know for 1,000 years, right? All right. So, but the problem with every instrument that has a shoveling motion. We're going to call this a shoveling motion. Isn't just that it's what it is in terms of, the tool itself is built a certain way, and there's certain qualities, certain steels, certain materials that they can use, and so on and so forth, weight, lightness, but that's not important. What is really, really important every single time is the actual motion that you use the instrument. A shovel or fork is, I'm working over here, but what I got to do is twist my hips. I got to twist my hips. I got to bend over, and then I have to go all the way down here. I'm bending all the way down with a twisted spine, hips, shoulder. Everything is twisted, and then I'm pulling up against gravity or whatever's stuck down there. I mean, this is a jungle here. I'm going to clean out this jungle. I'm going to show you later on, I guess, with a different video. But the motion of using a shovel is the problem. And it's been the problem for thousands of years. And there's 39% of the disability claims, this problems with people having insurance problems, work problems, medical problems, every problem. 39% of people have a back issue, and it's not all because of gardening. It's very, very little, actually. Not little, very little, but somewhat. Either it prevents you from gardening, or you hurt yourself during gardening, and mainly it's about repetition. So when you're doing a motion that is repetitious, I'm going to clean out this whole bed. This is going to take me, I don't know, with this thing probably 2 or 3, 4 hours, and I'm going to be definitely hurting myself. I mean, there's no sense in that. And so this is a not even what's called a simple tool. A simple tool is a one-to-one mechanical advantage, or a more than one-to-one mechanical advantage. Basically, that's what you want to have. You want more than you want it to do more work for you, not just you doing the heavy lifting. If I'm going to lift this up here, it's going to be, let's say 50 pounds, 60 pounds could be, and it could get stuck. So while I'm over here twisted, bending, trying to lift this thing up over here, I am putting all this pressure, and then I get to a point where it gets stuck, let's say on a root or a rock, and I say, let me grab this thing, and then that's where you either, you pop something, you snap something, you strain something, or you do wear and tear. People don't think about the future when they're doing something in the present, not as much as they should. And basically, a body exercise thing. Now, let's just say the body is meant to exercise, but the body is meant to exercise in the way it was designed. Your spine goes forward, backward. It doesn't go this way, it doesn't go that way, it doesn't go side to side. And that's okay. You can make it go that way, but not under load. When you are lifting something, it's under load. So then, therefore, you're twisting, and with your awkward orientation of your spinal disc, or your elbow or your shoulder, whatever it is, you are now doing something where the body was not meant to do that under load. So you could do all kinds of stuff, straight up and down, But if you start putting weight on it, like lifting weights, then you have to be careful about the posture, about where the proper orientation of your bone, your tendons, your muscles. You gotta be very careful about that. So this particular thing has been done over and over and over again, and it's gotten me crazy. When I hurt my hand, I said to myself, "Oh, there's got to be a better way." I have a background with I have a master's in human factors engineering, and my doctoral work is economics of engineering. So how can you make this thing smart in terms of economics? Economics means economy of motion as much as money. So I'm doing all this, and I'm going to hurt myself. I'm going to show you the broad fork later on, but that's kind of another thing that is not so bad, because at least the posture of using a broad fork, which this is not meant for, but if I have to do this work over here with a broad fork, I mean, this is like how awkward. Now, this is a garden bed. So most of the rocks, or a lot of the rocks, are out of here. But look, but I'm still doing this, this motion here in a garden bed. I'm stomping all over it, of course. And then I'm doing this, which is not so bad because you're going straight up and down. So this is nice, but it's only good for tilling. It's only good for tilling an already tilled or already cultivated soil or a garden bed. So, yeah, great, super dandy. You can do that, but it doesn't do anything except aerate. And then you have to, you got to be a kind of an acrobat too. You're going to sit in this thing over here. I have too many broken, I'm like pretty busted up. So I'm not going to be hurting myself or doing something. But this is very, very nice. You get a whole bunch of area, and it's good. It's good for what it is. Of all the tools, at least you're in an up and down posture. But however, you still have to lift the stuff out of the ground. Now, this is the garden future right here. This is a EarthLifter tool. It was designed to have a really good curve. The metal, all the metallurgy, me and a couple of engineers, really smart guys, figured out. It has a foot pad. So has 2 foot pads. So it's a diamond plate, and everything is thought out. The angle of attack, where you actually are going to push down, is it's perfectly perpendicular to where the flat of your foot is, or the bottom of your sole. So this thing here is made to go in the ground like that, but then the motion now is a forward backward. You're leaning back, and it is doing the work. I am just the instrument of putting it in the ground, and I have 4-to-1 mechanical advantage. Now let's just say I have a bad side. This side, my elbow hurts, or I got an injury or an operation or replacement or something or other on one side. Well, I can use the other side. And that's one of the beauties, because I have a hand, I lost my hand, and I had to figure out how to use a 2-handed tool with one hand, and here I go. Okay, so now I am picking up all this stuff here, and I'm pulling it out of the ground. See, it's such a jungle, you really can't see how much stuff is here, how much foliage is in here. And plus, I still have my drip lines. I didn't even see them, but there's drip lines in here. So this is basically, the concept is the motion and the posture. So we made this thing where it took me 10 years to figure out the proper. This is Isaac Newton meeting Archimedes and Pythagoras all in one here. So basically, it's kind of designed where, because of this, its invention, it's patented, all that kind of stuff. The geometry of this part down here, it goes flat right here, but then it engages in the lift. The lift engages back here. Why is that? Well, if you had a, let's call it a regular fork, and you engaged it's so messy here, you engage the wedging motion. Now, this pivot and a fulcrum are considered synonymous, but they really aren't. A fulcrum is basically can have other dimensions to it, meaning it's an arc as opposed to a point, or a breakover point. So when you're wedging, you're going like this, you're wedging. And basically what you're doing is you're compressing the soil on this side, and then you still have to lift it out of the ground. Everything is about the lift. And that's why it's the EarthLifter tool. Okay, so the idea of hurting yourself comes when you have to actually try to tear it out of the ground, and then this is where all the problems occur. And it's going to occur accumulatively. It's going to happen over time. It's wear and tear. And so, you might have an acute incident where you try to, yeah, I'm going to lift up this rock here, and you do that, and then it's the pop, or it's the and then it's permanent. See, the problem with disc problems, and people don't understand this too much, because it's not a sprain or a strain, it's not a rip. It's a tear, or it's the actual gush on the inside of the bumper, the disc is actually extruded, and when that comes out, it doesn't go back in. And then it's always there, and it's pretty acidic. It's an acidic substance that's not meant to be outside of its sac. When it gets squished out of its sac, then you're going to have that acidy stuff going on there, and that's where your spinal nerves come through. That's where all your peripheral nerves go to your arm and your legs and everything. It's right there in the same area. So you have acid on your nerve, which is like, that's your pain. And then that is there all the time, and you can't push it back in. And it's basically a permanent disability. There's a whole big WHO, World Health Organization, and CDC, and there's all these institutions that do tracking of things, and the amount of years you are injured is like multiple, that's like 10 plus years of being hurt and being in pain, or being debilitated or disabilitied, or just not wanting to do certain things. I want the world to garden. Think about how many it's 100 million people have a back injury. 100 million. I mean, in the United States. So if a tenth of them, a 1%, were able to do gardening again, I think gardening is the smartest, best thing that humans can do, because it's a natural thing where I'm in nature. I mean, it's Memorial Day. I got my my father and two brothers, veteran cap on here, and my mother built the aircraft during World War II. So, but this is I'm out here today because I have replaced hip. I got 7 breaks in my leg. I got spinal stenosis. I have my hand. I'm pretty messed up, and I'm over here digging up this big mess. We let this go crazy. We didn't let it go. It happens, and then I could just go and just be standing here, pulling up. I am getting all the roots out. I mean, right now, by me doing this, I am hanging out with you guys, and I'm having. I don't want to say fun. Yeah, it's actually fun. Exercise is really the most important thing for the human. Humans should have good exercise and good food, good whole food. We need the stuff that we don't use in our digestive system, but our gut microbes take them it's called the biome, and what they do is that's what feeds into the immune system. So your immune system is basically fed off of roughage, or the garbage, or let's call it garbage, the unused portions of the body's food system, nutrition system, and they utilize the stuff that isn't kind of wanted, but that's why it's so beautiful. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a drip line. All right, so I better stop before I break some drip lines. All right, but this is a good. It's going to actually be fun for me to exercise, and I'm going to be doing it properly. It's 4-to-1 mechanical advantage. So if that's, let's say, 60 pounds, I'm using 20 pounds. But how am I using the 20 pounds? I'm using the 20 pounds like body weight. I'm going backwards. And I'm not stomping in the bed. I'm basically, this is heavy as shit. Uh, okay, so this is, I can work over there and just lean back over here outside the bed. And I'm pulling up everything I want from 4 feet away by standing over here. Like I said, I don't want to mess up my drip line, so I want to stop there. But this is all, I'm going to step in the bed, sorry. This is 2 drip lines. But, you know, this is pulling out everything. I'm going to have this whole bed done pretty damn quick. And I'm not going to do it hurting myself. And I'm going to have some exercise. And I'm breathing in the nice air. And I'm getting some vitamin D. See, vitamin D is really important for your immune system. So exercise helps stimulate the stem cells in your bones. And then you're getting vitamin D. Your vitamin D goes with your K2 and your magnesium, and they take out the calcium that's in your blood, which goes in and transfers it into your bones. So people with, like, you know, women have osteoporosis issues. The idea of stomping down, compressing your bones, and then flexing your bones, exercising. Exercise is the #1 medicine for arthritis. When you have arthritis, forget about forget about drugs. I mean, basically, the more you exercise with arthritis, the more your body heals itself. So having exercise is a good thing. Not hurting yourself, obviously, you know, the bad thing. All right. So this is the EarthLifter tool, and this is what the tool of the future should be. Let the tool do the work. Don't hurt yourself. There's no need for it. And it's you know, maybe you want to do some exercise, you know, this way too, but it's not that heavy. But it's a tool that you can exercise and be healthy with, and not hurt your back or anywhere else. And you know, your wrists are very important. Also, it's while we're here, one more thing. When you are doing a motion with a stick, basically this is a stick. When you are doing this turning over or twisting over, it's called torquing in biomechanics. Okay, the word torquing. So basically, you're twisting something against the way the joints were designed. Your joints are designed to go this way, up and down. You know, blah blah blah. You know, blah blah, not blah blah blah. But they're meant to go in a certain way. Your elbow, certain way. It's not meant to go this way, this way. You know, your shoulder. Once again, it can go this way. It can go this way. It can go this way. It can go all kinds of different ways, but not under load. The problem is gardening is heavy. It has heavy aspects. If you want to pick up sacks of soil, I got sacks of soil over there. Well, you know, you got, you know, there's not too many other ways around that one. You know, you got to lift up, you know, 40, 50, 60 pounds sometimes. And, you know, if you can't avoid, this tool won't help you with that. But everything else, it's under the ground, yet you got to lift up. This is the tool, okay? Below ground is 90%. The weeds, the rocks, the roots, all the, you know, the dahlias, you know, the tubers, you know, the bulbs, all the stuff, 90% of everything is under the surface. And to lift it up, it's the EarthLifter tool. Okay, guys, have a nice, healthy life.